The new Sony TVs, new OLED, A9F, the new LED, the new LED, Z9F. They announced it on Tuesday, the 31st, 7/31/18. I did a video about the comparisons about both TVs. If you guys had seen that video, you know it was up for a couple of hours, and then I had to pull it. Apparently, I got some leaked information, and I just kind of went with it. Made an entire video. I let all the specs go. I let the prices go. All the features. It went live for a few hours, and then this Sony emailed me. They were like, "Hey man, can you please pull a video? If you want, we'll get you a loaner. We'll get you some loaner samples, and we don't know how you got the information, but you got a lot of stuff right. But there are some things that were wrong." So I obliged. I took the video off the air. Apparently, they thought that I had gotten some information from other people, kind of in the biz, but you know, I scoured the internet. If you look hard enough, you can get a lot of the stuff from the internet. So anyways, I pulled it off, and then I went to the event on Tuesday, and then everything that I'd seen, kind of standard fare. I mean, the food was good. They had the robot from Lost in Space. That was kind of cool. Other than that, I mean, they had the Z9F and they had the A9F. Wasn't drastically different from what we have right now. The A9F, I mean, the cool thing about the new OLED, you do get that center channel speaker mode, where if you just have your left and right speakers and you have a receiver, you don't have space to run a center channel speaker. It's kind of cool. You can run the receiver center channel output straight to the TV. Yeah, audiophiles, they're not going to like that idea, but it's really tight for space. I mean, it's good compromise. That's kind of cool. It's supposed to be a little bit brighter than the A9F. So if you guys are thinking about getting the Sony OLED from this year, the 8 series, I'd probably wait to get the 9 series. The new LED TV, I had some specs. I don't know if you guys are interested in the specs on the 9F, but there are some specs. There's a little spec sheet that I put on my Patreon page. It's free. Anybody can go and check that out. You guys don't have to pay for it. It's on there. But supposedly there's supposed to be something like 1,500 zones. From what the paperwork says, it says 1,500 zones. I'm just regurgitating what I read and what's on that sheet. But right now, today we've got some longbow apple flavor. But yeah, the spec sheets are on my Patreon page. You can check that out. It says 900 nits for the OLED, their OLED set, the A9F, and it also says like 4,000 nits for the Z9F. So I'm sure we'll get some like official measurements when that comes out. But for the time being, I just read everything that was on that apparently official Sony spec sheet. In the Z9F, everybody knows that the OLED TVs are LG panels, and then the Z9F is supposed to be a Samsung panel. So I'm just kind of speculating that the Z9F is supposed to have quantum dots, is what I'm thinking. It may be the same panel that's in the Q9. Just speculation on my part, just from what I read on that sheet there. So if you guys want to check that out, it's on my Patreon page there. Free to check it out. You know, you don't have to pay anything like that. But yeah, man, it's pretty exciting. They did say that they were going to offer me like a sample of the new OLED or the 9F. So I'll email them a little bit before release date, see maybe if I can get something in. If not, you know, I usually buy them anyways. They're usually good TVs. But no HDMI 2.1. There's going to be no 12-bit panels. It's like if I can't get like a drastic discount on these sets, then I think it might be just worth waiting for the next version where we're going to get 12-bit panels. Because I mean, let's face it, like Dolby Vision is kind of like, it's a big deal right now. If you really want to maximize, you know, your HDR experience, get that full color gamut, I would say probably wait till we can get some 12-bit panels and we can really get the full experience of HDR, especially like high nit displays. because those Dolby Vision discs, they're mastered at 4,000 nits. So it's like if you don't have to rely on tone mapping to kind of like dumb down 4,000 nits to 1,000 nits or 900 nits or 500 nits, you're talking about budget area there. But I would still kind of wait to see if we're going to get some 12-bit panels sometime in the future, which I'm going to say maybe like two years or so, maybe 3 years. Hold off until like 2019 maybe. But that's my thoughts on the Sony TVs. But from what I had seen though, I was more interested in the Z9F rather than the OLED, because everybody knows that OLED's great contrast level, just perfect blacks. Wasn't too different than what we have now from LG or even the Sony sets. So yeah, they're a little bit brighter, but unless they really hit like super extreme peak brightness, I wasn't really too interested in that because they all kind of look the same to me. LG and Sony kind of look the same to me. But LED, if it was really going to hit 4,000 nits, I was really interested in that. I wanted to check that out. Honestly, it wasn't the best environment that I was in. There was a ton of people around. They didn't invite me to the little separate rooms. I don't know, maybe because I leaked their stuff, and they were like, "Oh fuck, man, let's not give him all the secrets because he might tell everything." So we didn't go into the back room. But from what I had seen though, I mean, it looked like the Z9D. I mean, we're still like a couple months away. I hear it's supposed to be coming out maybe like next month to retail stores like Best Buy and your local shops. But I did see a little bit of light bleed, so a little bit of blooming rather. Other than that, I mean, I wasn't like blown away by brightness on the Z9F. It just kind of looked like a Z9D. But those are just some quick thoughts, cool things that you will get, like auto calibration. If you're a calibrator or if you have the equipment, calibration is only supposed to take like 15 minutes. So everybody watching YouTube videos about calibrating your TVs, on how to do it, getting other people's ideas on how to calibrate your sets, Sony's will have an auto calibration using the SpectraCall and also using the CalMan software. Hopefully I'll be able to get some of that software in. I mean, I met with the guy at SpectraCall, CalMan, so hopefully he'll send me some stuff. Maybe I'll get some equipment in as well. So maybe I can just do a little tutorial about how to calibrate your sets, officially instead of like by eye, which there's a lot of people on YouTube doing that stuff. Let's talk about this new three disc collection that's coming out tomorrow, at least in North America. I don't know if it's coming out in UK or not, but Predator on 4K. I dropped the review yesterday. I got some hate on this thing. Got some hate on the Predator review because I gave it like a 6.8 rated Predator 4K 6.8. All right, why did I give it a 6.8? Is it because I hate film grain? Is that what it is? I know a lot of people don't like film grain in their movies. It's understandable. And I think I kind of rated it accordingly. But after I watched Predator 4K, I watched it on my big screen. I watched it on 126 inch. And just from the onset, it was just really grainy. It was just really, just wasn't crisp. It wasn't sharp. It was, man, how's the word, man? It just wasn't impressive. When you watch good catalog titles on 4K, I bring this up all the time that I review movies. If you look at The Professional, even if you look at the original Blade Runner, I mean, the time that they spent kind of like restoring these masters, they look awesome. They look like they were kind of shot yesterday. And then I watched Predator like the night before. It was just didn't look good. Just didn't look good. Is it supposed to look like the director intended? Sure, maybe it does. Maybe it's supposed to have that super huge, amount of grain in it. Maybe it's supposed to fluctuate between heavy and light. The light portions look like, the same type of quality you would get from a Blade Runner or Leon the Professional. So there were some parts where it looked really good. It really looked like that. And then other parts, the grain was like so heavy, it just kind of looked blurry. It just looked really, just looked like a mess. So that's what I rated it on. Usually, if you're going into purchasing 4K movies, especially kind of like nowadays, there's a perception that you're going to have that you want to have really crisp images. Doesn't necessarily have to be grain free. Some of the really good movies are shot in like film nowadays, and they still look really good. I just rated it on which thing. It's pretty simple. The movie either looks good or it doesn't look good. People get caught up in the whole semantics of what film grain is or what director's intent is supposed to be. Like, do I really have to go and Google a specific movie and find out what did you use to film this on? Did you mean for it to look muted and grainy? Is that what your intention was? Am I supposed to go and Google that to find out that's what your intent was? Or am I just supposed to buy it as like an average consumer and just enjoy it and just use my own visuals to say, hey man, this looks good or it doesn't look good? That's how I kind of give these number ratings. By no means are my ratings like the de facto standard whatsoever. I always say this in all my videos. I'm sharing you my thoughts on the video and audio quality. That's what I think. That's what I think looks good or what I don't think looks good. Whether or not the director intended it to be like that, I don't know. I didn't ask him. I didn't Google it. I don't know. Either it looks good or it doesn't look good. So a lot of hate on that video. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on that. Actually, I do, because you guys have left me a crap ton of comments on it. but those are my thoughts. That's how I kind of rate movies. You like it or you don't like it. It's clean and crispy. It's sharp. It's got detail. Or it's soft. It has no detail. Or it's just lacking something. I always kind of mention it in all my videos. I like to think that I mention it in my reviews. Those are my thoughts on the Predator 1. Predator 2, I watched Predator 2. Predator 2, better than Predator 1. I'm going to say that right now. It does look better than Predator 1. I wouldn't say it looked like a Sony movie, like a Sony catalog title. Definitely cleaner looking. It's a little bit soft at times. There's a little bit of grain in it, not as much as Part 1. I kind of didn't want to do a review on it because, let's face it, Predator 2, at least to me, just really bad acting in it. It was just kind of a bad movie. I didn't enjoy it that much. I've got about 20%. I watched about 20 minutes of it. It was just bad. I think there was a reason why I had only watched it once, like on VHS back in the day. Just that, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to do an official review on that, so I'll just talk about it right now. It does look good, better than the original Blu-ray. So if you guys are on the fence about picking up Predator 2, I think it only comes in the three disc set. It's definitely worth the upgrade. It's got a clean transfer, a little bit soft at times, a little bit of grain. Check it out. Audio is only in like 5.1 as well. It sounds very similar to the first one. Effects were a little bit dated sounding, but if you're a fan, pick it up for sure. Predators Part 3, clearly the best of the bunch. It was shot in 1080p, so it's like they rendered it with a 2K DI, which is understandable because it was only shot 1080p, not film. But that looked really good though. It looked more like a modern day film that was shot like yesterday. Everything was sharp. Really good colors on it. Really good contrast. I mean, Best Buy has it. I think Walmart has it for a good price for the 3-disc set. I don't think you can buy Part 2 and Part 3 separately. But I think it's worth it, especially if you're a fan of the series. Honestly, Part 1 is really the only good one, I think. If you're going to buy it, I'd probably only just buy Part 1. That's just me personally. I really love Part 1 movie. I remember seeing Part 1. I didn't see it at the theater. I actually saw it on TV. And I remember thinking, like, right at the beginning, I was like, wow, Arnold Schwarzenegger's in this movie. And then it started off kind of like it was like a POW rescue mission And all of a sudden, like aliens popped up. I was like, oh my god, there's like an alien in this movie. It was like totally took a different turn. So that really caught me off guard when I was younger. I was like really young when I saw the movie, and obviously it stuck with me, just like it stuck with many people here that left me negative comments and watched my review. But yeah, I love part one. Does it deserve a 6.8 that I gave it? I'm going to tell you right now, if you're expecting that 4K greatness when you're buying your discs, it's not a 10, it's not a 9 out of 10, it's not an 8 out of 10, maybe a 7 out of 10. I didn't quite give it a 7, so I had to go like 6.8. I didn't want to do 6.9 because that's really close to 7, so I did the 6.8. That's how good I thought it was. I still enjoy the movie. It is the best way to watch the movie. Pick up Predator on 4K. Yes, it is the best way to see the movie. Maybe your outlook is a little bit different than mine. Maybe you're a little bit more forgiving about blurry images. But I'm just I gave a number to what I think the masses think of when they're going to buy these movies. And I think it's a 6.8. So, Professor Who. Dude, look at what people over on Blu-ray.com are saying about your Predator review. So much hate. I mean, you're 100% wrong, but the hate is insane. Thanks, Professor Who. Appreciate that. I may be 100% wrong in your eyes, but I'm 100% right in my eyes. So yeah, so, there goes. Everybody's got their own opinions. They're called opinions for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Xbox as a 4K disc player. Thoughts? When I had the Xbox One S, I think there was a little bit of issues with the color on it. I think the blacks were crushing a bit. Maybe they fixed it by now, maybe they didn't. But as far as I remember, the blacks weren't so great and the colors were a little bit blown out. So I mean, who knows? Maybe the X is better. I can't really speak to that, but as far as I know, that's what the deal is. But if you pick up a good quality player like the Panasonic player that I just reviewed, or even the Oppo player, you can adjust. You can kind of adjust your HDR intensity. So if you're missing some detail in the shadow areas and the black levels, or just detail in your highlights, you can kind of tweak your settings, dial it down. I know that Panasonic has a retone mapping feature in it, which it can adjust to your display's capabilities, kind of dynamically remap on the fly. So if you guys are really serious about your video quality, definitely check out the Panasonic player. It's a little bit pricey. It is $500, but there's some really good features on it. It's got decent build quality, better than the Sony, Samsung, LG players. Good stuff. That's kind of like the main thing when you're looking at video game consoles as 4K players, or if you're looking at a standalone disc player. You're going to get more granular control over your video quality. You'll have higher DACs in it for your audio, and you'll have better processing for your video as well. That's why you're getting that better, the little smaller control over your HDR and sharpness, contrast, and all that. Something you're not going to get on video game consoles. They're called video game consoles for a reason. They're video game consoles. They're not 4K Blu-ray players. They're not marketed as that. They're marketed as video game players, and their secondary function is media playback. Yes, you're saving a little bit of money on purchasing a video game console as a playback feature, as a playback device, but really its main function is to play video games. Does it play video games great? Of course it does. Xbox, amazing video game quality. Does it lack like exclusive titles and stuff like that? It's a little different thing there, but its main function is video gaming. Secondary function, or maybe even third function, would be 4K Blu-ray playback. So if you really are serious about your movie watching, then I would suggest you purchase a 4K Blu-ray player. Fam, hey bro, just want to say I love your channel, very informative and amusing. Hope you continue what you're doing and wish you the very best. Thank you, Fam. Really appreciate that. It's always more negative stuff than positive, right? Green Arrow, answer me, damn it. Oh, that's right. Oh, hold on a second here. You did. You gave me something here. can you do a comparison on the Panasonic and Sony players? Well, the comparison on the Sony and the Panasonic players. I don't know what player you have, Green Arrow. I'm going to tell you right now, I would go with the Panasonic player. It's just a better player. The HDR optimizer on that player, I don't know what kind of TV you have, but I mean, it can tone map down to lesser quality sets. Even if you have a budget set or a mid-level set or a high-end set, or even like a super high-end set, there's that tone mapping feature which can accommodate you keeping that high nick detail in those high luminant areas. Definitely check it out, man. It's like $500. Like I said, man, if you got the spare change for that, for sure, man, pick it up. I mean, I have the Oppo player and I have and I've got the Panasonic player. If you guys seen the video, there's really just that one feature that I'm really missing from the Panasonic players, which is the 21:9 mode. If it had that, then I would most definitely switch out my Oppo player for the Panasonic player, especially that new player they got coming out, which is the 9000. I had checked that out. That's a beast of a player. That's a high quality. It's like THX certified. It's got XLRs. It's more like the comparable model to the Oppo 205. It's really like audio centric. You know, it's got some really high quality audio outputs on it. Build quality it's like really great build quality on the 9000 series, but the Panasonic 9000 is like $1,000, and the A20 is only $500. And as far as players for this year in 2018, I don't think any player is really going to touch the Panasonic players for this year that I know of. Like, I don't know if I don't think there's a good Samsung player coming out, or LG player, or even another Sony player that's coming out that's gonna touch the video quality performance of like the Panasonic. CV15 XBMC, favorite movie of the year so far, and what are you looking forward to the most? Do I have a favorite movie this year? I will say the last good movie that I seen, which I didn't think was going to be a good movie, like I put off seeing it. I did see the movie. It's not an action movie. It's not I guess it's a drama movie. It's not a big budget Hollywood type of shit. It was the movie Tully with Charlize Theron. I guess it's kind of like she's not a single mom. She's like a house mom. She stays at home. It's a little bit of Fight Club in there. If you guys seen the movie, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But I put off watching this movie for a few weeks. They gave me like access to go to the premiere, which I didn't go to because it was like in New York City, so that's like an hour and a half away from me, so I didn't go. But I saw the movie, and that was like a really good movie. It was a really good dramatic comedy type of movie. I wouldn't say it's the best movie of the year, but that's the only one that really kind of sticks in my mind for being a good movie. Probably not what you guys are expecting, but I would definitely check that out. Tugs on the heartstrings a little bit, I think. But yeah, definitely for sure, check it out though. RoboCop, why don't all movies in full screen like Justice League? Well, if you've ever gone to the movies, which I'm sure you have, you may realize that most of the movies you see, I think it's something like 90%, maybe 95% of movies, they're actually in letterbox. Well, letterbox are in TV, but they're in CinemaScope format, ultra wide, 21:9 aspect ratio. Most movies are going to be ultra wide. They're going to be wider than your TV sets. So I think it's more of the question of, why aren't TVs ultra wide? Why are they 16:9? I get it. People buy TVs and they get the letterbox. It sucks. I know. Blows. You get the black bars. You don't think you're getting your money's worth. But in all actuality, movies just really are not in that format. Unless you're watching like a comedy, or that rare IMAX, or IMAX movies are shot a little bit taller. But really, most movies are they're ultra wide. They're the wide aspect ratio. It's just your TVs are smaller. It's just fact. It's been like that for forever. All right, guys. Thank you for checking out the live stream. If you guys got any future questions, you guys can always hit me up on. I always say Facebook, but I don't think I ever really answer anybody's questions on Facebook. But hit me up on Twitter, Instagram. You just leave a comment here. Usually I get back to most people on the YouTube comment section. But thanks for checking out the video. See you guys in the next one.